Alright, so I did the standing thing for the first review back in theaters. I didn't mind it, but for the chair, so I'm gonna sit for this one. Alright, so Tenet. Tenet was written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars John David Washington, and wow, movies are back. Movies are back. I truly enjoyed this film quite a bit. I don't want to go into how the plot works and all that because, first off, it's really confusing. Very, very detailed. I mean, they take multiple and multiple opportunities to try to explain this to you, but really, for the first hour or so, I would say, you're playing catch up. And then you start thinking, you know what? I think I know how this is going. No. And then Nolan's like, nah, we're going to go this way now. And you're like, what the heck? You're constantly playing keep up with this movie. And I mean, I don't say that as a complaint, but I can see this as, something in the future that a lot of people just, they're just not having a good time with. Like, I can remember from the Inception days, because I was able to follow Inception pretty well back then when it first came out. And I mean, I was, not that bright and also really young. But a lot of my other friends back in school, like afterwards, like, hey, have you guys seen Inception? And they'd be like, that movie was confusing. I didn't like it that much. I can see the same thing happening even for today's audience because this movie is definitely much more complex, and I had a very hard time understanding it for a little bit. Usually I'm able to really pick up. This one, I was having a hard time. Nolan really outdid himself. And it's still a very fun ride. And I mean, this movie is all direction and writing. This is all plot. It is all plot. That's not a shot to the acting. The acting is great. John David Washington is great. Rob Pattinson continues why he's going to be an excellent Batman. And just so on and so forth. The villain and all that. But the thing is that you're just not really attached to the characters. You're just not. Especially our lead. He doesn't even have a name. Lily in the credits, he's called protagonist. Just to, he's just there to help continue on the story for the most part. Luckily, the story is very interesting and rich. And again, you have to follow. This is a movie. You cannot be talking. You can't take a break at all from it. There's a lot. Like I had to go to the restroom during the movie, and I was like, nope, because if I miss any minute, even a second, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to be able to keep up anymore. So, stayed in the chair and just pushed through and just try to keep it going and all that. And this movie is also a little full of itself. It's a little full of itself. Not just with the explanations and all that, like, just a lot of exposition. This movie has one of the best openings I have seen in a really long time. Like, I don't know if just because, like, wow, I'm actually seeing a real cinema movie in the theater. Like, I don't know if it was that, but, like, just the whole opening sequence with what they're doing and the music and all that. Oh, the music is so good in here, too. I'm going everywhere with this review because, really, this movie is just, like, it's a Nolan film. I mean, what do you expect? Music's great. Sound design's great. Although sometimes it's really hard to understand to people. It's like Nolan decided, their voice, yeah, that's not important. Shouldn't we hear what they have to say? Yeah, I mean, make it known, but, this music's pretty cool, so bump it up. It's almost like you're in the club, and, you're constantly trying to hear the person you're trying to talk to. Like, so, what do you want to do after this? What? But the music is going, so it kind of felt like that a couple of times. But again, nothing to really destroy. The only thing that I can really see hurting this film with people who don't enjoy it as much is the fact that it is very hard to follow because, again, you're going through so many steps and then you're like, oh, I figured it out. No, I didn't. And it just keeps turning its head and all that, which is something I enjoy. I don't like knowing what's going to happen, and I certainly did not like a lot of things I was very, very pleasantly surprised with. And just the direction with some of the things, like there's some things where people are moving forward and other people are moving backwards, or other objects are going backwards, or it's flip-flop. They're going backwards and stuff is going forward. Fight between someone going backwards and someone going forward. Car chase scene where a car is going forward and another car is going backwards. You probably don't understand this, and that's fine. When you watch the movie, you'll get what I'm saying, and you still won't understand anyway. Overall, this movie it's a great movie to see in the theater. This is definitely a movie in the theater. This is definitely not a one watch movie. But I get that a lot of people are not going to go back to see this movie a bunch of times in the theater. I most likely will not. During the pandemic age, I will see a movie I haven't seen in the theater yet, unless it's my favorite movie of all time. Which this movie is not. This might be my favorite Nolan. I have to really think about it. Inception did some stuff to me. But this movie also really got to me, but I'll probably have to re-watch this a couple times to really, because, I watch Inception quite a bit of times, but that's neither here or there. We're here to just talk about Tenet. The only downfalls, again, is really hard to keep up. Characters don't really seem like a priority. Like, I get characters out there, they serve the story, not the other way around. But if I could be more attached to it, like, I wasn't really attached to our protagonist. Like, I cared about him enough to be like, oh, I really hope he succeeds. But, meh. Acting's phenomenal, though. And it's just very plot, story, and direction-wise. I mean, Nolan really outdid himself with this film. What you rate it? Man. It's a really tough one for me to do. Freshly squeezed. Let's go freshly squeezed right now. Definitely not strawberry. But freshly squeezed. I really enjoy this film quite a bit. But I'm on that high right now that I just came out of the theater with. After some more thought, maybe it may drop down to a lemonade. But right now, I'm pretty confident in a freshly squeezed lemonade. So, have y'all seen Tenet? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Were y'all as confused as me? You're like, Zeke, it really wasn't that hard to follow at all. Like, are you dumb? Which, yes, I am. But, yeah, just let me know what y'all think about it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See ya.